There are two types of people: those who don't take responsibility for their lives and blame others for their failures and misfortunes, and those who, despite their limitations, do take responsibility for their actions and overcome their weaknesses for a better tomorrow. I belong to the second group, and although I'm aware of my limitations, I always try to look for areas where I can make improvements. Without a doubt, one person who helped me in this search was Napoleon Hill, one of the original gurus of self-development. Hill formulated 8 golden rules, which I want to share with you today. Although it is safe to say that the period when Napoleon Hill conducted his main work in terms of the development of knowledge about the human psyche and psychology as a field, the 1920s and 30s were a period of rather meager results. Nonetheless, many of Hill's intuitions and observations have turned out to be quite accurate. If you like this animation, remember to give us a like or a comment, subscribe and share. It helps us, the content creators, a lot because YouTube receives a signal from you that this content is valuable. Here we go. Number 1. Change your way of thinking and you will change your life. Hill meditated in a way that stimulated his thinking. He imagined that he was sitting down to talk with great thinkers like Socrates, Aristotle, or historical figures like Napoleon Bonaparte or Abraham Lincoln. During those imaginary meetings, he focused on finding, understanding, and adopting positive characteristics that he identified in his imaginary guest. He repeated this meditation every day for an hour, regularly adding new historical figures to the package. He claimed that it was thanks to this exercise that he overcame the fear of public speaking, but I want to focus on another aspect. It's about meeting inspiring characters, learning their biography, thoughts, and modus operandi. Thanks to such colorful meditations, we can change our perspective. To many people, this exercise may, at first glance, seem silly or childish, but it is extremely useful to develop our ideas. We see this person's life, we listen to their words, we learn their motivations. To begin this type of meditation, we must know a lot about a given character, know his or her views or general work. Surrounding ourselves with uplifting and inspiring thoughts can be very enriching, and later we can adapt some of them to fit our own life. In fact, if we change our thinking, we can change our lives. Number 2. Big problems require trust. Suppose that you have given yourself a great challenge: create a product and sell it to customers, or develop an environmental plan and convince the municipality of its viability, or prepare a business idea and meet with investors, or perhaps some skeptical listener. These are all great challenges, but what is the biggest problem? Having an idea, product, or development plan is not the real problem. Generally, the problem is convincing the right people. This is a challenge that we all face many times in our lives. We try to convince the new employer that we deserve a higher salary, a newlywed husband to make a great change in his family life, school parents to support an extracurricular activity, and our enemies to think similarly to us. How can we do it? Certainly not aggressively and directly. No one likes to be pressured. Aggressive salespeople, politicians who deliberately split societies, rude and condescending managers, all of these attitudes have one thing in common. They divide people into enemies and allies. Those who disagree with me are enemies, the rest can stay. But the world does not work that way. That's not how we can win people over, and today's marketing and public relations specialists know this. So what's the advice? What is the creative solution that will allow us to win these people over and earn their trust? Instead of seeking confrontation, first make them your allies. Make them understand that you see the world exactly as they do, that you have similar values. Then, instead of rejecting you, they will begin to listen to you. As your relationship matures, you can slowly start presenting your ideas. Instead of immediately opposing your interlocutor, begin by agreeing with him. Look for aspects that connect you, things on which you both have a common and unambiguous opinion, something that will show both sides we are not so different and in certain areas we understand each other well. Admit that even though you are on the other side of the discussion, your opponent gave really interesting and sound arguments, some of which you agree with. Appreciate the man on the other side. Look for what connects you. You will gain his attention and the people who are on his side. Number 3, speak well of others, especially in large company. Look at how speaking badly of others works. How, in the eyes of witnesses, publicly criticizing people lowers the perception of both the criticized and the critic. Public humiliation has no educational value. It teaches nothing. If your manager publicly criticizes employees, know that he is just wrong. It doesn't really improve the situation because this humiliation effectively prevents the person criticized from receiving productive comments. Do not speak badly of others in their absence. No one has accomplished anything positive by talking about others behind their backs. If you have to criticize, do it in private, eye to eye. To improve your employees' decreasing efficiency or repair a slightly tarnished relationship, start praising what they do well. Say positive things about your colleagues, acquaintances, or friends. Of course, I'm not telling you to be fake, but if something impresses you, say it, appreciate it, admire what deserves it, and congratulate for achievements. Napoleon Hill knew this years ago, and research has consistently shown that a team whose members cultivate common strengths, appreciation, and create a culture of positive reinforcement works more efficiently and delivers better performance. Both good and bad things will come back to you. You don't have to be overly religious to understand the simple principle of consequences. In this 4th rule, Napoleon Hill digresses a bit into religious territory that is sometimes reminiscent of the tempting, albeit esoteric law of attraction, which says that the more you think or pray about something, the more likely it is that it will actually occur in your life. This assertion happens to be fiction based on a few cognitive errors. Nonetheless, I want to draw out one important thought from this rule. The way you behave toward others will come back to you. In essence, this principle encourages you to take the first step in relationships. You should bring a gift for that first meeting, make the first compliment, buy the first dinner, do something for the other person. This way, you will begin the cycle of reciprocation, and after a while, you can ask this person for something significantly bigger than a simple compliment, and you will likely receive it. If we selflessly share what is ours, then in response we will gain allies whose willingness to return a good deed may surprise us. Number 5, you can build self-confidence by yourself. Let's start with the fact that happiness and fulfillment in life are very difficult to achieve without self-confidence. It means taking responsibility for your decisions and knowing how much really depends on you and those decisions. The best sources of self-confidence are definitely personal experience and performing certain activities on your own. Then you know you have a vocation at hand, you know what to do, you have it under control, and you are aware of it. That gives you a lot of self-confidence. But sometimes there are things we have to do for the first time without testing them, so we just have to jump into the deep end of the pool. What then? Then you can practice the so-called affirmations, and according to the old American saying, fake it till you make it. Pretend you're successful until you actually succeed. In certain situations, you can cultivate thoughts related to self-confidence. These will be simple affirmations like, I will have a good day. I know that today I will do everything I have set out to do. Or, I have total control over my reactions and I will not let myself get carried away today. I will control myself and be strong in this difficult conversation. Affirmations can take many forms. They can be practiced daily and regularly remind you of your decisions and agreements you've made with yourself. Number 6, develop positive habits. You can easily make an endless list of such habits. Good nutrition, getting up early, journaling, cooking your own food, exercising, working regularly on a project. I'm sure there are a few that you resonate with and you think they may be worth implementing in your life. Oftentimes, we begin acting out these good habits, but soon a difficult transition period gets us down and we stop. During this transition, Napoleon Hill advises to take advantage of the power of self-suggestion. His idea is to visualize the process, experience it in your mind, and thus satisfy the body's immediate need in an imaginary way. For example, when you feel blue or tired, imagine fitness training and feeling good afterwards. Getting used to the new routine, making it a permanent element of your day, will make it easier for both your body and your mind to adopt the habit. Number 7. Surround yourself with positive models. Whether you like it or not, we are constantly influenced by our surroundings and the people we choose to be around. So if your closest friends abuse alcohol and party all the time, you will likely end up being like them. Similarly, if your friends are professionals advancing their careers or coming up with new business ideas, they will definitely pull you in that direction. Of course, it is impossible to ignore our starting point in life, that is, our upbringing, our education, and our biology. These elements can significantly lower the potential ceiling through which it can be very difficult to break. But it is your current environment that gives you the possibility of reaching higher and further, or going the other way and getting trapped in your economic and existential state by the company you choose. It is sad, yet so characteristic of many societies, that for all who try to break through their roofs, there are a lot of people just waiting to bring them down. So choose the right company, surround yourself with people who will support you, help you, kick you when needed, and be an inspiration in the direction you want to go in life. If you want to be a great programmer, surround yourself with those programmers who are constantly developing, looking for new technologies, trying new things, deepening their experience. If you want to be a great parent, find people for whom parenting is a very important element of their life. Get the point? I can list examples endlessly, but the essence is find an inspiring environment and it'll help you become a better person. Number 8. Nurture your memory. You know that terrible feeling when you forget your colleague's name or the name of a friend's girlfriend? These are small things, but they definitely weaken relationships. On the other hand, when you can remember a few simple details about people you meet, their names, the context of your last conversation with them, where they work, what interesting thing they did, I assure you, it'll make a very good impression on them. Napoleon Hill suggests that you can improve remembering names by using simple mnemonics, for example, correlating the name with something unique about that person, which helps the brain record the information. This certainly works to some degree. However, I have a different suggestion. After all, we live in completely different times. So first, be more attentive. Avoid daydreaming during conversations and try to register important details. Second, use the notepad function in your phone. Note down any important details of that particular person in the contact file. Nowadays, it is so normal to look at a phone that a brief glance during the meeting won't be considered offensive, and recalling that information at the right moment can help you a lot in building the relationship. Either way, observe and remember. If you have trouble remembering, take and use notes. So let's review. These are the 8 golden rules of Napoleon Hill. Number 1, change your way of thinking and you will change your life. Number 2, big problems require trust. Number 3, speak well of others. Number 4, both good and bad things will come back to you. Number 5, you can build self-confidence by yourself. Number 6, develop positive habits. Number 7, surround yourself with positive models. And number 8, nurture your memory. The rules may seem simple enough, yet applying all 8 of them at the same time can be very challenging. What is certain is that when you do, it can significantly change your life. For now, I thank you for your time. And remember, be extraordinary.